I'm telling you, right? Yep, I knew it. I knew. Fuck yeah, we did it. We're here, fam. It's really weird to hear myself a couple seconds after I say what I said, but we did it. I'm looking at myself in the stream. It's funny. Wow. My headphones are so loud you can hear what I'm saying in stream. Now, I'm going to share my link around a little bit. I'm a little whore like that. Because I want this to be fun. I want people to get involved. I'm going to do this if I sit here by myself for the entirety of the time and nobody comes to watch. I'll sit here and do it because this is something that I want to do, and I think it would be fun as hell, and I think it's going to be fun as hell, I should say. Yeah, okay. Why does Discord have to act stupid, is my question. I feel like this is not going to hit my Facebook audience, when I say Facebook friends, though, because not a lot of my real-life friends watch Dimension 20, which, by the way, I've been going off. I think this is pointless because I don't have any viewers. If I do and I've ignored that they've showed up, I'm sorry. I'm trying to look and see where on this it would even show up. I don't think it would. Oh, I have a viewer. Do I have a viewer? Hello. Thank you, viewer. But anyway, the whole idea of this stream is I have this picker wheel with all of the characters, or at least all the characters that I have some sort of understanding of who they are as a character, from Dimension 20's Fantasy High, and a few from the 7. And I'm going to, off the top of my dome, act out and almost write fan fictions for live on Twitch. I just thought this would be a fun thing to do. I'm sharing around the link some. Currently trying to get some viewies. Because this isn't going to be as fun. It's going to be fun for me regardless, because I'm an idiot. Anyway, guys, thank you for your viewing, pleasuring, and all the things. Booyah. I have a Discord that I'm a part of. I'm not going to share it in the Dropout Discord. I'm terrifying. I'm not terrifying. I'm terrified. Log me in. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not being super entertaining right now. But I'm just trying to get stuff figured out. I appreciate whoever is viewing me right now being the most patient and awesome. If it's the same person, if not, welcome. I'm going to get to explaining what's going on in this whole situation shortly. I'm just trying currently to get everything going in the right direction. I'm also going to Twitter, and then like I said, I'm going to share my link also in this Discord server of this D&D campaign that I'm playing in, where we all watch Dimension 20, so I thought it could be fun if they wanted to come watch. Ah, fudge. No, don't do that. Ah! I panicked because I put myself in a general chat. That's one of the reasons I hate Discord, is because I'll think I'm hitting the regular general thing. then I'm not. I'm going to put it in the Dimension 20 chat because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to say that due to this being Twitter, or not Twitter, idiot, Twitch, and Twitch having pretty strenuous rules about sexual content, obviously this is going to be mostly PG stuff. Just for the nature of protecting myself from getting in trouble with Twitch. Not that it's that huge deal if I do, but, you know, I'd like to be able to do this. I've done a couple of streams on Twitch before, mostly video game content, but this was just an idea that I had while I was sitting in my apartment, and I was like, man, that would be really fun. And so I'm here, ready to be really fun and have a good time. I'm terrified generally all the time. And I really think that these people from this Discord server that I joined that are all friendly and love Dimension 20 are really cool. So I'm like really afraid if they come in and I'm being just awful at this and they don't want me to play anymore. I hope not. That would make me cry. I don't know who's watching me, but thank you for being such a trooper while I'm being garbage host. Just trying to get everything rolling, and my brain is not working clearly. My quality of video and audio might not be super great because I'm using a pair of pink headphones and a crappy like $20 webcam, but I just wanted to come on and have some fun. I'm thinking about just going right now because I got you, my one viewer, and I may not get anyone else. And me, stalling for time is not fun, and I want to have fun, and I was planning on doing this even if nobody showed up. So we're going to do it. It's going to be freaking awesome. Okay, so, I got two things. Thing one, I'm going to, I should have done this beforehand, but my brain is stupid. I've got two, randomizer things. I've got this picker wheel with all of the Dimension 20, Fantasy High characters on it, and then I have another picker wheel, or not a picker wheel, I guess, but it's more of a, a genre selection tool. Did I get rid of it? Am I that stupid? That I got rid of a thing that I needed for this stream? I'm so professional, guys. Like, top level professionalism from Andrew Boyd 13 on Twitch. You'll love to see it. We're gonna keep vamping. We're gonna vamp on here. Let me go to my recently closed tabs because I am an idiot. I'm a lovable idiot, but I'm an idiot nonetheless. And I'm sorry I'm not making eye contact with the camera. It is a big problem I have with this lovely thing that I love to do. I do love streaming. It's fun, especially when I do have... it's even fun when I don't have viewers, when I'm doing something I enjoy. But it's even... Oh, it's right here. It's been in front of my face for 10 minutes. So this is a fanfic trope selector, which is the second randomizer thing that I have for these fanfics that I'm gonna live write and act out on screen. Anyone who does watch Dimension 20, I want to be clear. I'm using the voice that I think accurately represents the character that I'm playing. Not necessarily, and in some cases I will try to mimic Brennan Lee Mulligan's voice or one of the PC characters' voices. Probably not with the 7, because I don't do girl voices very well. But I'm going to do the best voice that I can for each character, and you might see similarities to the way that people in Dimension 20 speak when they are the characters, and you may hear something completely different. So, first and foremost, I just wanted to put that out there that this is not going to be super accurate, but I'm going to have fun, which is what's important, I feel like. So I'm going to go back and maximize my picker wheel here. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to pick two characters. And they're going to be the two main characters of the fic. I may include other characters if I feel like it fits the story, and some of them may not be, because I'm not terribly good at this. I just think it would be fun. And then I will go to the trope randomizer and pick the trope of the fic. And I may have to look up fic tropes, because I'm not super up on the fanfic tropes. If I don't know what it is, I'll be like, oh my god, what's that? I don't know. And I'll go look it up, and then I'll do it. But the obvious thing to say is I won't be doing any sort of romantic fics between people who are related, or there is a one is a minor and one is an adult. No romance between those characters. They're going to be purely like friendly or even adversarial, depending on, because I've got some villains in here, depending on what comes up. So if I get, like, say for instance, I get Adine and like Bill Seacaster, and then it's like friends to lovers or haters to lovers or something like that. I won't do that, because that's, and instead of re-rolling the characters, because there could be some fun interactions between Adine and Bill, I would re-roll the trope to try to find something less romantic or sexual in nature. Because like I said, I don't want to offend anyone as far as like, I know there's a lot of people, and also like incest is weird. And so is minors should not in any way get involved with adults, period, point blank. I don't care. So that being said, I think I'll just go ahead and go. You've waited like 15 minutes into this stream, and again, my one viewer, I thank you for your patience. You are fantastic. If you're not following and you want to follow, go ahead and hit the follow if you want. If not, that's fine. You can have fun the whole time and never follow me, and I won't get mad. Ever. I don't get mad. I get even. But I won't get even with you because I like you. You stuck around through about 15 minutes of bullshit. True and utter bullshit that is ultimately not going to come to anything, because nobody else is going to come to the stream, and that's fine. It's just you and me. We're going to kick it. You're not going to talk, which is more than fine. I'm not mad at it. I'm about it. I'm just hoping that you're laughing or cringing. I keep looking at that screen when I'm talking to you. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, let's go. First character. It's going to take a minute. There's a lot. There's like over 100 characters in this wheel. Gideon Everpetal. So, for anyone who's not completely up to date with Fantasy High / the 7, spoiler warning. Because I'm going to get some anger out in this one. I hope I get somebody good. This is going to be fun. Gideon Everpetal, for those who don't know, is Penelope Everpetal's father, one of the principal villains from the first season of Dimension 20. Penelope Everpetal. And the character that will be interacting with Gideon... I forgot his name. This is so funny. Gideon Everpetal. Thank you. Is Jim Peppercorn, a.k.a. the Food Anarchist. And also, for those who don't know, I named him the Food Anarchist because he's not a super important character to the canon of Dimension 20, but in the spoilers for the Season 1 finale of Dimension 20 Fantasy High, in the Prompocalypse episode, when the bad kids are fighting Calvaxis, aka Goldenrod, he is in there, but he's just standing by the food and like eating it because there's like a lot of food, and it was a funny bit. It was a bit that was played to be funny because I genuinely think Brennan forgot to pick the piece up and then was like, oh, whatever. And then it was a bit. It was like, what's this guy doing over here? Just eating food while we're killing a dragon? That's disrespectful. Anyway, so I called him the food anarchist because it was the easiest way for me to be like, oh yeah, he was the guy in the Propocalypse episode. So it is Gem Peppercorn and Gideon Everpetal. Now, to the fanfic trope generator. Missing moments. I don't know what that is. So this is our first fic of the night. To our first... You know what? Do you think it would be fun? Kind of afraid to show. Let's just do this. We're gonna do a little thing. It's gonna be fine. Everybody just... We're having a good time. Having a darn too good time, it goes far as to say. This is like my main wow. This is my main browser that I use, and I don't do a whole lot with it, so I don't remember how to use it properly. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna do it on Twitch, but just for right now I'm not going to. So missing moments fanfic trope. Actually, I'll move it over here. Why not? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I have to write a scene between Gideon. I have to make up a scene between Gideon and Gem Peppercorn that could have theoretically happened in canon, but that doesn't change anything in canon because it has to be canon compliant. This is going to make what I wanted to do a little bit harder, because, again, spoilers for the 7. I don't remember which episode. It's one of the earlier episodes, I think. Just to be safe, spoilers for the 7. Everything that's come out so far. His name escapes me. Gideon Everpetal, completely ditched and divorced his wife in kind of a douchey way, and he comes off, the way that he's portrayed in the season so far, he's kind of a douchebag. So I was wanting to torture him and make his life miserable. Can't really do that being canon compliant. I mean, no, because it's something that has to happen between, yeah, okay. Okay. So, this takes place a year before the events of Fantasy High Season 1. Gideon Everpetal is showing up to Eggfort to pick up Penelope and Sam. Because if I'm remembering so in the canon, Sam is a couple years older than everybody else in the group. So therefore, she would have been at Eggfort the year before. So, and I might be misremembering the timeline because she might have already been, put in the gem by then. I don't know. But anyway, the point of the story is Gideon is at Eggfort to pick up Sam and Penelope. And this young student, who we now know as Gem Peppercorn, that's Jem Peppercorn, kind of walks by and just kind of goes, "What are you looking at, old man?" Because for some reason he's decided that this old man is staring at him funny. This is so bad, but that's fine. This is what we're here for. We're gonna get the bad stuff out. And Gideon looks at the young man confused, and he turns and says, "I have no quarrel with you, young sir." And Jem responds, "Well, I have quarrel with you, sir!" And then grabs a baguette out of his bag. A very long baguette. And steps forward as if the baguette was his sword and steps up to the man. Now, Gideon Everpetal, based on the little that I know about him, not an adventurer, not a guy who's used to fighting a whole lot, to my knowledge. And I could be misrepresenting this guy. I don't really care. So he's like, oh, way, oh, because, magic is weird. This kid, for all that Gideon knows, could have enchanted this baguette to work as an actual sword because he has some weird food fetish. Who knows? Anyway, so there's a moment where Jem is standing there with the baguette, staring down Gideon Everpetal, and he takes a swing to him, and then Penelope goes, oh my god, what are you doing? And smacks the baguette out of his hand. And he goes, oh, my baguette! What the heck, man? And Penelope's like, that's my dad. You can't just go around disrespecting my dad like that. Do you know who he is? This is Gideon Everpetal. He's my dad, and he's got so much money. Sam kind of follows behind Penelope and is like, yeah, so much money. You can tell that Sam, very much being Penelope's best friend, kind of echoes a lot of the, negative sentiment that Penelope has, but she herself is not a very negative person. She just kind of, Penelope is the person in her life who's there for her after, falling out with her mom due to her gender identity. So she kind of glomps onto Penelope as a person to kind of, to my understanding, to my assumption, to kind of just, because she feels safe. It's one of those, I think. But anyway, Jem just goes, man, this is garbage. Now I gotta go get another baguette? Whatever, man. And then Jem leaves. Gideon goes, oh, the rabble that goes to your school is absolutely mortifying. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they, everybody gets in the car and drives away. I know that wasn't crazy long, but this was not ever intended to be me telling a 3-hour long epic fanfic. These were going to be mostly drapples and little back and forth scenes, maybe a little romance type deal, but definitely not because this was an adult and a child again, like I said. But so that was my first one. I hope that one was fun for you. It was fun doing it. I'm glad that I did decide to do this because we're having a good time. We're having a good time. I'm actually going to see something really quick before I continue. Not that. Putting it in my Discord status. It's twitch.tv/ /AndrewBoy13. We plug in. Right? Yeah. Cool. It's all one word. Beautiful. We'll clear it in 4 hours because I'll probably be done by then. Cool. But yeah, no, it's it's a thing. Anyway, let's go ahead. Again, if you're the same viewer that stuck throughout all of this, thank you. I'm having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. But it's time for fanfic number 2. Let's see what we got. And I'm not going to eliminate any characters out of this because, you never know how many different fun interactions you can have between characters. Just because I happen to pull Frank Dunford and Zane Darkshadow doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to pull those characters. I almost just hit the spin button on my Twitch studio window. That's funny. Because I'm stupid. Anyway, let's go. Character 1. Antiope Jones, portrayed in Dimension 20's The Seven by Abria Iyengar, the endlessly talented Abria Iyengar. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with justice. But we gonna try. We're going to have a good time. And a Bastrar! We love Bastrar! Again, even though theoretically Antiope could be 18 plus in the 7, I'm still going to go ahead. There is too wide of an age gap, and her being just 18, even if she is, or even 19, the age gap is too large. This guy's a freaking ice cream genie. That's not really spoilers. It's not really that integral to the plot of the first season of Dimension 20. Post-apocalyptic AU! Oh my god! The setup for this alone, like 20 minutes. Okay. So, we're going to say, this is complete future speculation. So again, like I said for the last one, potential spoilers for the 7. Dimension 20's the 7. So, as we all know from the most recent episode of Dimension 20's the 7, the 7 maidens found, or more accurately, were thrust upon had their A-rank quest thrust upon them. And as we also learned in the most recent episode of the 7, the top 3 rank quests are rank C, the lowest of them, which is a entire world threat, something that threatens the fate of the entire world. A rank B quest, which is something that risks the entire plane, like the entire prime material, the entire astral plane, the entire this, the entire that. Like, that's... Rank A is a multiversal risk. So, the idea that I'm having for this fic is that the 7 are successful in stopping the multiversal threat, but ultimately Spire is damaged beyond repair for the future. Like, they were successful in stopping the multiversal end, but at the cost of Spire never being the same and being effed. And I know this isn't really, you know what? I'm going to stick by that it is a post-apocalyptic AU. It is a close to canon post-apocalyptic AU, but it is an AU nonetheless, because I'm pretty sure the 7 aren't going to end the multiverse. Or even F up Spire to a point of no return, but who knows? But anyway, so before this, to save my bacon, because I don't want people to be mean, all of the 7 survive to a point. Like, they're obviously not the same. Their life is forever changed by what happened, but they're all alive. I'm going to say that this event rocked them to their core. And people aren't going to like this, but this is just off the top of my head. So, and it ultimately causes a schism. It's the best way to say it in the 7. Not everybody leaves necessarily. It's just when something huge and monumental and possibly multiversally ending happens to a group of people, one of 2 things can happen. It can either bring them closer together and make their connection stronger than it ever was before, or it can sever that connection. And while I don't think it completely severs the connection of all of the 7, I do think that like there's a couple of them that just it's a little too real for them. So in this version, I'm going to say that Penny Luckstone takes the offer from the Council of Shadows, possibly? The rogue organization that was scouting her because of her excellent work as a rogue. Sam Nightingale decides after this terrible, crazy event that she doesn't want to be an adventurer. She's scared out of it. And so she goes and finds Lola Embers and says that she wants to get back into acting. You know, it's not something that she does lightly, because she knows that, you know, the people who knew her as a child actor do not know that she's transitioned. And as she said in the most recent episode, she doesn't want people to comment on that. It's not people don't have the right to comment on that. But she decides this incident scares her so much that she decides, no, I'm gonna step away because acting is safer, and I'm afraid. Ostentation. Brain. Literally the person that I'm actually writing. Antiope, Ostentation, Antiope, Zelda, Katya, and my brain is not good on the fly, so forgive me for forgetting things and having to go to lists. It's just easy for me to do it that way. Hold on. The 7. I know I'm forgetting someone, and I will never forgive myself. The 7. Where is it? I know there was one for the 7. Or the Maidens. It's the Maidens in this, even though it is later changed to the 7 in their own thing. It's the Maidens on this wiki page that I'm looking at. Wah, wah, wah. Sorry, I got it stuck in my head. What's that? Twitter notification? Of course, it's not loading. Boom! So it's... Oh, Danielle. Also, so Danielle, Antiope, Ostentatia, Zelda, Antiope, Ostentatia, Danielle, Stay, Penny, Sam, and let's just look on the wheel. My brain is not helping me. Zelda stays. This is not fun content, I can tell you, watching my head while I look through a wheel. Did it load? Because it was being real dumb. There it is. Okay, cool. That's helpful. So like I said, Penny and Sam both give up the adventuring life. Not really. Penny just decides to go more in her lane and do rogue things, so she's less at risk. And Sam decides to go act. Ostentation, Zelda, Antiope, Katya, and Danielle all stay together as no longer the 7 maidens, but the 5 maidens. And things just kind of from that point, they kind of go downhill for everybody inspired and in Elmville. So those 5, they go on a few more missions. Things get harder and harder. Things are tense. They're still very clearly haven't gotten over Sam and Penny leaving. Sam being one of the driving forces behind getting the Jed, and deciding to graduate and stay together as a unit really took a toll on the rest of the maidens as far as wanting to continue forward. It makes it difficult, but Ostentatia being there and Zelda, who are both very heavily pushing to stay together, and Katya to an extent as well, has helped, keep them together. And then Elmville collapses. So the government of Elmville is very flimsy already. It's kind of, for lack of a better term, a government that is at the will of Arthur Eggfort. And as anyone should know, if you're at the will of Arthur Eggfort, it's not a very stable place to stand. Arthur, when things change permanently, he decides that part of the reason that things went that way was because more people weren't prepared to adventure. More people were not prepared for the things that came. So he actually uses his because what people I don't think necessarily immediately understand, but I mean it's obvious if you spend too much time thinking about it. Arthur Eggfort, probably extremely rich, buys Mumple, buys Hudall, and turns them into Arthur or Eggfort Academy magnets, and kind of through still having the lens of Hudall being a spellcasting school and Mumple being like the place where you go to learn to be an innkeeper, a postman, whatever, like the day-to-day town jobs. But through the lens of being like, just because you're a regular innkeeper, postman, whatever, does not mean that you shouldn't be able to defend yourself. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to do what you need to do. And then the same thing goes for Hudall, that the thing changes where it's like, just because your main thing is spellcasting doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to, like, instead of looking at spellcasting through an academic point of view as Hudall does now, he pivots it to more of a martial or practical use lens. While still obviously, because it's not going to be an easy like automatic change to make it go straight from academic to practical. Sorry. And then, as I said, Mumble just kind of being like, so you get the kind of vibe that things are like, oh man, like, Elmville kind of becomes a place where, like, you go to an inn and the innkeeper has a sword under his thing, just in case, because the whole town is on edge. We'll say that, since I decided to say that none of the maidens died, we'll say, like, big tent poles of the community, like Sklonda Gukdak, Sandra Lynn Fayeth, not Galir. Galir's fine. Carl Cleaver, Aelwyn Abernant, and let's think of one other random person to throw under the bus and murder off screen. And Fabian Arameus Seacaster died during this whole kerfuffle. Yeah, Fabian's dead, gang. Anyway, so the town is shook. Like, it's not just, like, Eggfort's not the only one pushing for this. And that's why it doesn't get as much fight as, like, if Eggfort did this in, like, present day, Elmville, or even Elmville in the alternate where, like, they succeed, nothing bad happens, or at least nothing hugely bad happens to, like, a post-apocalyptic type thing. It would get a lot of pushback because it doesn't have that fear. The thing is that people don't understand is when people are afraid, they will make concessions they don't normally make. So they made those concessions of being more militarized, and being more outwardly trying to protect themselves, even if maybe they don't need as much protection. So that's what kind of starts to devolve the town of Elmville and even the nation of Solace, the entire world of Spire. And then wars start to break out. This is a lot of like backup exposition, Jesus. Wars start. The Baronies and the Doom Fort, or not the Doom Fort. Let me look at the freaking map because I'm stupid. There we go. Spire. So, like, the Baronies and the people of High Court, Solace and Falinel, Silver and the Red Waste, Frostheim and the Mountains of Chaos. Like, there's all these little wars that pile on top of each other till essentially where we're in a situation kind of like the World Wars in our world, but in Spire. And while they may not have the technology like the nuclear bombs and things of that nature to escalate things, they do have magic. Which in a lot of ways, especially since magic doesn't have a whole lot of limit, can be far more dangerous. So what ends up happening, right? What happens once these wars start? You've got, I think, the Baronies being one of the very few purely human places gets wiped out almost immediately because you've got all of these like elves, giants, orcs, half orcs, and like at that point, it's just one of those things where like you've got these powerful mythical creatures that just have an advantage over humans naturally. When you're an entire nation of humans, you're going to be the first one to go. And so I think the Baronies is taken out pretty early. And due to the negative presentation of the mind of the Mountains of Chaos, the Red Waste, and the Force of the Nightmare King, you have Solace, Frostheim. I don't know a lot about them, but I'm just going to say, Solace, Frostheim, and Falinel teaming up to take on the creatures and people of the Mountains of Chaos, the Red Waste, and the Force of the Nightmare King, or Silver. Because even though the bad kids went in and made Silver a better place, a lot of people still view that area as the Force of the Nightmare King and don't trust the people that live there. So you have arguably your three more technologically advanced and more thoughtfully advanced groups versus lands that do have people and do have intelligent people and things like that, but are a lot of monsters. So on the Falinel Solace, my brain just went to poop. On the Falinel Solace Frostheim side, and maybe not Frost, I don't know. I'm making a lot of stuff about this, and I might end up being wrong, but it's fine. On that side, they are doing horrible things. Because, like I said, they view those places as evil without a whole lot of justification. And I mean, they have justification because there are evil things that live there, and there are things that live in those places that have come to Solace and come to Falinel and come to wherever else to attack and kill and eat people and all those things. So, like, it definitely is a thing that they should be worried about. It's just a matter of, they're letting that fear control them. And did I just mess this up? I don't know what just happened. What happened? Anyway, what was I saying? Or the person just lost interest because I'm being awful. So like I said, with everything going the way it was going, obviously things are devolving. And the two most technologically advanced countries teaming up against the rest of the world is kind of unfair. More than kind of unfair. So it's imagine if you had like America, China, Japan, and all the big technological people going up against, less like people who don't have those things. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, man, that's messed up. And so you have essentially like Falinel and Solace work together and slowly like eliminate, the population of the Red Waves, population of Silver, population of the Mountains of Chaos. But a powerful wizard in the Mountain of Chaos sees the tides turning and sees the people of Solace and the people of Falinel starting to come for him. I promise Antiope and Brisrar will be involved. I just have to get to I have to do the apocalyptic part before I can get to the post-apocalyptic blah 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 blah. He knows that they're coming, and he knows that if he doesn't do something now, then the people of the Red Waves, the people of the Mountains of Chaos, and the people of Silver will be lost forever, and there'll be no bringing them back. So he does this spell. It's essentially like a nuclear fireball, for lack of a better term. And this guy is not evil, necessarily. From the Solace Falinel viewpoint, he would definitely be considered evil. But he's not. So what he does is he goes out and he says, there's basically, like, if you remember going back to Fantasy High sophomore year, when Arthur came to try to rescue Adine, and he, like, came through and was like, press one for Doom. Kind of like that, where it's like a holographic projection of him over Solace and over Falinel, most densely populated areas, and he says, I am going to end this war. I am giving the peoples of Solace, who had no choice in this war, and the peoples of Falinel, who had no choice in this war, 6 hours. No, that's not 24 hours to leave Solace and leave Falinel, because when I'm done, they will no longer exist. But I know that not all of you deserve to die. If you choose not to heed my warning, may the gods have mercy on your soul. So, a lot of our heroes, the bad kids, the Seven Maidens, and a lot of their friends get out because they know this guy means business. And a lot of them head for this guy. And then the nuclear fireball happens. He centers it on the capitals of both Falinel and Solace, completely eradicating everyone who's there. I think the governments of Solace and your Arthur Eggforts and such would be a little more intelligent, and a lot of them get out. There's obviously people that aren't able to get out and who, die. But I think for the most part, all of the major players in Solace, for the most part, get out. With some damage, but get out. Falinel, on the other hand. Falinel and elves in general. As a guy who mains elves a lot of time, elves are extremely arrogant. So I think the elves don't leave. Maybe some of them, I'm not saying we wiped out all the elves. I'm saying that there were elves who left, but the government of Falinel, the Court of Stars, is arrogant and believes that their god, Galakea, And their powers that they have will be enough to stop the nuclear fireball. It wasn't. So the fireball comes down. The governmental system of Solace, and a lot of Solace around the outside, is completely unlivable and destroyed. Like, the capital of Solace is gone, wiped off the map completely. And a lot of the area around Solace is irradiated by this nuclear energy. So you can't settle there anymore because it's not safe. Falinel, being a much, let me show you, let me see here. Let me pull up the actual Spire map. Bwomp. So this is the map of Spire right here. Oh, is it not? It's not pulling up. Hold on. Didn't pull up. It was on my screen, but it didn't. Oh, it's because it's focusing on that. Oh, I know how to fix that. I'm so stupid. I'm not going to do that. I can't. So this is the map of Spire. So this whole area is Solace. This is Falinel. So I'm thinking, so we go Elmville and around this area is, I'm assuming, where... Or no, wait, I think it's actually in High Court, now that I think about it. So this entire area is maybe more this way, because he wouldn't have wanted to hurt Silver, because Silver is allies. So around here, this is all uninhabitable at this point. That whole area being uninhabitable, Falinel is gone. There's no trace of Falinel left. The elves and their arrogance proved to be their downfall. And again, like I said, some of the elves were smart enough and escaped and decided, you know what? We're not, we're not unsusceptible. We're susceptible to attacks. We're not invincible. Sorry. So they did the smart thing and leave, but a lot of the higher ranking people in Falinel didn't. So Falinel's Court of Stars is gone. And the people of Solace that survive and the people of Falinel that survive kind of come together and go, look, we went about this the wrong way. It doesn't bring back the people that we killed and the families that have been torn apart forever. But we understand that what we did was wrong. So basically what ends up happening is this sort of treaty happens, where the more developed nations of Solace and Falinel agree to not attack the Mountains of Chaos or Silver or the Red Waste for an agreement of being able to move in and cultivate and be able to have a life. So it's not a traditional, it is in a way very traditional post-apocalyptic, but in another way it's not. So, fast forward 5 years. The Maidens have actually joined together with the remaining bad kids. Riz left the bad kids to be a cop with his mom, or the cop in place of his mom in the new, we'll say the Red Waste, since he's a goblin, I guess. The Red Waste Police Department in place of what his mom would have done in that scenario. Like I said, Fabian died, unfortunately, in the multiversal incident. Fig and Gorgug are less involved because they are, in this time that we live in, with all these bad things happening, we need entertainment more than ever. So the Fig and the Sig Figs are the biggest act in the world because, it calls back to the time before everything went to shit, essentially. So, they're traveling all the time, so they are still actively members of the party, they just don't get in a lot of it anymore. So, you're mostly dealing with Adine, Kristen Applebee's, and then the 5 remaining Maidens. So like I said, Fabian's dead, Riz left, and Gorgug and Fig are still involved, but to a much lesser extent. So your main party that you're dealing with is Zelda, Antiope, Ostentatia, Katya, and Katya, my brain is pooping again. Danielle, Adine, and Kristen. So it's funny, but it's kind of like the Seven Maidens again, theoretically. Like, not maidens, obviously, because Tracker and Kristen Applebee's have sex all the time. Think I'm killing off Tracker? I'm not stupid. I don't want to die. Um, so, anyway, so like I said, fast forward 5 years later, Kristen Applebee's, after trying thousands of times, is finally able to convince Basrar to go on a quest with him. So, Basrar and the we're going to call them the 7 bad kids. Sometimes with Fig and Gorgog. So the 7 bad kids, in this case without Fig and Gorgog, and Basrar, go out on this adventure. And God, this is way longer than I was planning on any of these to be, but it kind of has to be. So they go out, and Antiope has finally accepted, the fact that she's the leader and that she has to lead because she's the one best suited to do it, even though that's something she didn't want to accept at the time. So she goes forward as the leader, but she's obviously shaken. Like, the bad kids and the 7 were not super close before everything happened, but like they knew of each other, and with Fabian dying, Sklanda and Sandra Lynn, who saved their lives with the help of the bad kids, obviously, but Sandra Lynn was the one who actually came to the Mountains of Chaos and pulled them off of those, or well, not pulled them off those rocks, but like brought them back to civilization. So that was really hard, and then losing Sam and Penny, maybe not to death, but to them choosing to leave the group, especially with, if we remember, in the 7, Sam fought Antiope so hard when Antiope didn't even, I don't think Antiope really ever wanted to leave the group. She just wanted to be excited about this cool thing that she could possibly do if she wanted to. And Sam just crapped on it. And even though, yeah, she understands why Sam left, and she understands that it was scary and it was hard, but 7 maidens were supposed to be forever. And you just left after guilting me into staying? What the hell is that? So there's a little bit of that energy. She has similar energy for Penny. It's not as angry because Penny was in the same boat as she was. So it's just, she views Penny as more, that could have been me had I made that choice. But I didn't. So there's a little bit of remaining anger towards Sam and Penny, more Sam than Penny, but still. And Basrar picks up on this. Basrar is not an adventurer by trade. Basrar is a genie, an ice cream genie, who has the power to do whatever he wants, but likes to serve ice cream. It's his passion. So one thing I don't need to tell you guys is ice cream genies are a lot like bartenders. You go to the ice cream bar, and you sit in front of Basrar, and you eat some ice cream, and you tell him about your problems. So Basrar's heard everything before. Basrar is really good at reading people. And you know what? Just for funsies, I'm going to go ahead and roll an insight check for Basrar using a pink d20 and then a red d20 to roll a deception check for Antiope. Okay. Now, I don't have their exact stats, so I'm just going to roll them flat. Because I don't know their stats off of hand. So, like I said, pink for Basrar and red for Antiope. So if you can look at the phone, if you can see, that is a 17 on the pink die and a 5 on the red die. I just thought that would be fun because these are all based on D&D games that were played. So rolling one dice would be a little fun. So obviously, as you can tell, Basrar sees through what's going on, and he says, "Why don't we take a break for a while? Why don't we take? I don't remember how his accent works, so I'm not going to do an accent because I don't want to come off like a dick, sound like a dick. Let's take a break for a while, guys." And then he takes Antiope off to the side, and he says, "So what's going on? I can see that something's bothering you, and um, I just wanted to make sure you're okay. This is, like a dangerous mission we have coming up. And you're the leader. You're the backbone of this team. And I just want to make sure that you're okay. Because if you're not okay, we're not okay." And Antiope just kind of looks down, puts her head in her hands, and just goes, It's hard. The last 5 or 6 years have been really hard for us, losing Penny and Sam. The bad kids losing Fabian, and a lot of the bad kids separating, and us becoming this weird, hodgepodge team. And I love it. It's hard. And having to always adjust and never being able to sit and relax and understand what's going on. I just don't know if I could do it anymore. But I can't leave. I agreed to be this team's leader, so that's what I am. I just miss her. And I'm mad that I miss her because she left. She made the choice to abandon us. And that makes me angry, but I still miss her. Basrar, kind of looks over her and, still going off of that 17 insight check, he goes, "You talking about Sam?" And Antiope nods, and she says, "I understand. We all wanted to quit. It was a lot. And while we didn't lose any of us, we lost a lot of people that were important, and not only us, but other people. And I wanted to quit, but I didn't because I couldn't. They needed me. And Sam just left. But I still miss her. Basrar nods, understanding what she's talking about. It can be very hard to be left behind. Um, Especially by someone that you love so much. And I can tell that, while you may have had your differences, you and Sam love each other deeply. All of the maidens love each other deeply. But sitting here and being angry and holding all that in is not going to make things better. I think that once everything is done and we get done with this mission, I think you should talk to Sam. I think nothing bad could come out of genuinely going there to work things out. Now, if you're going to go there and get into a fight for no reason, then yeah, I wouldn't advise doing that. But I think that you sitting down and having a frank conversation with her and saying, "Hey, I miss you, but I'm really mad at you for abandoning us." And letting her sit in that and think about it and accept what that means, I think could be really good for both of you. And Typee nods, and she looks at Basrar and she pats him on the back and says, "Thank you. I'm really glad you came. I'm still not in a great headspace, but I think I can do this now. You're right. I'm going to talk to Sam. And I think everything's going to be okay. They, go forward onto that mission. I am going to make the call to cut that one off there. If I'm going to post this on my YouTube if I can later, and if people decide that they want me to continue that one, I really liked it. If people decide they want me to continue that one, they can, and I'll be more than happy to maybe make a separate video for it. But I want to be able to tell more stories, and while that was fun, I really liked doing that scene between Basrar and Antiope. I kind of feel dumb for using even though I didn't want to do a voice for Basrar, I should have changed the voice. But that was fun. I hope my one viewer, I hope you like that, because I enjoyed the hell out of it. So we're gonna go for another combo. We're gonna see what we pull up this time. Character 1. Gorbag! Gorgug's biological father. We love to see it. You love to see it. Oops. Oh. Character 2. Luckstone! Wow! I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That's crazy. Maybe the genre generator will help me make that decision. Fanfic trope generator, I should say. Selector, whatever. Mythology AU. I'm the only one here, other than my one viewer. I apologize. That was mean of me to say. But you're not chatting to me, so you can call me out for it if you want to. I don't like that. So we're going to do it again. Nope. That is an adult and a child. Sports AU. We can do that. I can make that work. Okay. All right. So that's Gorbag and Penny Luckstone in a sports AU. Wow. So this is again, I think, going to be pretty self-explanatory and pretty simple, like the first one. So in this alternate universe, and this is going to be way more alternate than the post-apocalyptic AU I just did. Eggfort Senior High School. This is not in a fantasy world. This is in a regular real world. Star track athlete Penny Luckstone is gearing up for her big meet coming up, and her coach, Gorbag, who moved to town after re-meeting his biological son Gorgug. He moved to town to try to have more of a relationship with Gorgug. And as he was a track and field runner in high school, he agreed to, in his free time, coach track and field. Not that Gorgug's on the track and field team, but it's all that he knows how to do as far as sports goes. And it's a good way to put him in it. So anyway, Penny is out on the track, getting ready to run. Gorbag comes up. Well, there's my star runner, Penny Luckstone. How you doing today, Miss Luckstone? And Penny looks up, and it's Gorbag. How are you today? And Gorbag nods and says, I'm doing good. I got a dinner reservation tonight with my son Gorgug and his parents, Wilma and Digby. We're gonna eat some dinner. It's gonna be good. I love it. Yep. But you ready for this big meet tomorrow? And Penny nods for a moment and then looks kind of nervous. And he goes, "Why you look nervous, Luckstone? You're the best runner I've ever seen." And Penny shakes her head and she's like, "I don't know, I'm worried about how it's gonna go. And I just want to win. Because, you know what? I'm going to rewind a little bit. I don't like where I'm taking this. It just wasn't feeling genuine to Penny's character to make her doubt herself and get down on herself. So sorry, yawning. It's awful. Don't ever do it if you can avoid it. I am going to do it again. I did it once. I broke my rule one time. I'm going to do it again. It's not a rule, I've decided. Epistolary fiction. I don't... What? Oh. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. It was epistolary? There we go. Epistolary. That word. Collated documents. No! That's awful. Slow burn. That's romantic. Canon divergent AU. No. Canon compliant. I mean, that's just telling a story. Honestly, I'm going to do something I haven't done yet. I'm just going to repick characters because I just don't like that mix very much. It's my show. It's my Twitch channel. I can do what I want. Character 1 of this new combo because I could... Another Basrar fic. No problem playing Basrar, apparently. I might actually get rid of Gorbag because I think Gorbag was the real issue because I just don't... Alston Hughes. I'm not going to get rid of Gorbag because I really feel like I could use him. So that was crap. I'm not going to hide it. It was Basrar and... I don't need to get a trope. I have an idea. So this is going to take place back in season 1 of Fantasy High. Alston Hughes comes into Basrar's anyway, sorry. He comes into Basrar's and he walks straight up to Basrar and he says, "Excuse me, sir. I'm Alston..." Forget his last name again already. Alston Hughes with KVX Bank. He hands him a business card. I was just wondering if you were interested in maybe selling or subletting your property at all. We at the bank are looking for new and exciting real estate opportunities, as a bank does, and we were just curious if you wanted to, sell. Basrar just kind of looks at the business card. I'm an ice genie. I am an ice cream djinn. I make enough money from... Mr. Hughes, are you happy with your life? Mr. Hughes takes a step back, grips his briefcase, and goes, "Why would you ask such an odd question? I don't even know you." He's like, "Well, I don't even know you, and you came into my ice cream shop asking me to sell. I think, me asking you a personal question is, not completely unfair in this scenario." And Alston kind of like not having a good enough excuse at that point queued up, just kind of looks at Basrar and says, I've never had anyone ask me that. I kind of got into this job because when I graduated Mumple, this was kind of like the cream of the crop kind of job. Once you get out of Mumble, it's like working at a bank. I didn't even start at this bank. I started at another bank, but then KVX came to town and, started poaching a lot of the other bank's employees and buying things out and stuff. I don't need to think about this. This is crazy. I'm here to ask you if you want to sell your property. If you don't, fine. But, sir, I think that you should. I think it would be an incredible idea to, or maybe if you're not interested in selling, maybe you can take out a loan from the bank and open a second location. It could be a great idea. It could be expanding and franchising is the way of the future in little businesses like this. You could have 10 Basrars in Solace, a couple in Falinal, and could really seize your opportunity. And Basrar kind of looks at the man, slightly closes his eyes, and kind of looks at him through the slit of his eyelids, and goes, You really deflected that question, didn't you, bud? Alston kind of goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just really serious about this deal. I really think that it would be a great idea for you to do. And he goes, Well, Mr. Hughes, I'll be honest with you. I have no interest in selling my ice cream shop, or franchising or anything. I mean, it would be really hard for me to do that, as I am an ice cream genie, and that's the reason I am able to do what I do. And I do not have the ability to clone myself. So, running 2 different ice cream shops would be very difficult for someone like me who can't be in 2 places at once. Alston takes a step back and goes, It's a very good point, sir. Alston, then kind of realizing that he wasted his time coming here and is really unsure. His mind is really sticking on that question that Basrar asked him. Is he happy doing what he's doing? Is he truly happy being a banker? And he looks at Basrar and he looks down at his briefcase and ponders to himself. And then in that moment, something comes to his mind. About 3 years ago, when he worked for his old bank, he had to foreclose on a family home in Elmville. It was a full family. Mother, 2 mothers, 3 kids, dog, cat, whole 9. They had only fell behind a month and a half. They were working hard, and they were coming out on the other end. They were going to be able to pay. And they told him, if you just give us a couple more weeks, we'll be able to pay. And he said, unfortunately, we can't do that. I would love to help you, but I can't really do that. I don't have the power to do that. And they kind of nodded, and he apologized, and he remembers that the youngest child began to cry, and he then said, Mama, Mama, where are we gonna live? And the older mother, only by a few years, but there was you could definitely tell a little bit that one was older than the other, a couple gray hairs, nothing major. She looks at the young daughter and she says, I don't know, honey, but we don't give up. We are not a family of quitters. And she turns from the child and looks at Mr. Hughes again and says, Are you sure there's nothing you can do for us? And Mr. Hughes nods, thinks for a second. He goes, I'm sorry, my hands are tied. And we come back out to the current present day, and Mr. is staring at the man, and all of a sudden, a smile appears on the man's face. Alston Hughes looks at Mr. and says, I guarantee you 100% I'm happy with my job. And we cut back to that period of time and see the man as he looks at the young girl and the mother. He smiles. And the mother is taken aback. She's completely surprised by this man's just smiling. Like, and it's not in a customer service kind of smile where, like, he's kind of, like, there's no empathy in his face. He's just smiling at them. It's almost as if he's proud of what he's done. And then he gets back to his office, and one of his coworkers looks at him and says, so how was it? I'm sure it was awful. They were probably really sad and mean and yelled at you and stuff. And he's like, to be honest, these are the days that I live for as a banker. And then he smiles and goes back to his desk. You know what? I was genuinely gonna, like, have him, like, not reform, because, like, you don't have to reform as a banker. Bankers aren't inherently bad people, I guess. They're capitalist pigs, but that's But then, like, halfway through it, I was like, man, you know what'd be really funny? I was gonna have him, like, foreclosing these people really affect him and really get to him at a deep level. Then I was gonna be freaking hilarious if he foreclosed on this family and fucking loved it. And just enjoyed seeing the tears on the little girl's face. And it was awful. And I love it. All right. I hope that one was as good as either of the other ones that I told. And not that awful Penny Luckstone gore bag mess that I tried to do. So here we go. Character 1 for the fourth. We're gonna count it as fourth because that Penny and gore bag one doesn't count. Let's see. Character 1. This is gonna be really hard for me because I'm really bad at talking slow. Unnecessarily bad. Unnecessarily bad. But we're gonna give it a shot. Character 2. Oh my god! Oh my god! A turtle person talking to a tree. I can't. I just. It's not a crossover. That's not valid. Modern day. It is a modern day. I can't. None of this is helpful. Stop it. No. Unexpectedly good. You know what? That fits for the tree, to be honest. And unexpectedly. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. No, because we know that they're a good pair. There was normal, seeing each other for domestic fluff, cuddle fic, napping together. You know what? That's wholesome, and it's not sexual. I'm just gonna do one thing really quick before we continue. I've just gotta... gore bag. I'm just gonna really quickly see if I can pull up a clip of what kind of voice that Brennan does for Holly. Oh. I'm worried that I'm gonna do Scrank's, like a really slow version of Scrank's voice for Shelford. But we're gonna get what we get. No. So again, I want to reiterate the thing that I said at the beginning of the stream, that I am not attempting to do Brennan's voices necessarily. There might be a couple that I might nail or I might get close to, but that's not necessarily my intention. I don't remember if Holly talked like super slow like Shelford did. I feel like she did. I feel like it. But we're gonna go with it. So it's a Saturday morning, and Shelford came with Skrank, who, after what happened to Biz, is really Shelford's only friend. Doesn't really like Skrank that much, but you deal with what you got. And Skrank goes, "Rah! I'm gonna go talk to Danielle." Rah! And he goes up the tree to the house portion, and Shelford just kind of sits and goes, "What an insufferable nutcase." I hate that guy. And then he leans back against Holly the tree. And then Holly the tree says, "Ah, a young turtle person." And then Shelford goes, "What the fuck? A talking tree? What? Where? How?" And then Holly looks down and says, "Why are you so rude to your friend, young turtle person?" The young birdman seems to be very fond of you. Why do you rebuff his friendship the way that you do? Shelford sits under Holly and really ruminates on that thought. Because as we've seen in, the first season of Dimension 20 mainly, because he's not really, or Fantasy High, because he's not really featured a whole lot in the 7 so far, or in sophomore year as much, that I remember anyway. He sits and he's like, "Well, that's a stupid question, you dumb tree. Why would you ask me about Skrank? He's an idiot. Holly then responds, I don't believe that's how you really feel. Why do you mask your true feelings, Shelford? Wait a second. How do you know my name? Skrank just told Danielle that you're waiting outside for him. I guess my therapist, Shelford says, has been telling me to be more open with my feelings. And it's easy for me to talk to you because you're just a tree. I have no connection to you, therefore no obligation to continue acting the way I pretend to. Holly smiles and nods. Speak your truth, Shelford Turtle Person. This is the funny name. Shelford looks down at his hands. A lot of the reason I act the way I do is because of a deep feeling of self-loathing that I have been struggling with ever since I turned 14. Puberty has not been kind to me, and my self-esteem has taken a dip. Holly nods and looks down at young Shelford and says, I completely understand. Growing periods can be very difficult for anyone. And for someone who deals with self-image and confidence issues, it can exacerbate those problems. But I will say this, Shelford. I think if you were honest with your friend or friends about how you feel about yourself and about them and about the way your life is, I think you'd find yourself much happier. Shelford looks at the ground. A tear runs down his face. And he looks up at the tree and he says, Ma'am, do you mind if I take a nap right here? Holly smiles, and a branch comes down and rubs Shelford on the top of the head and says, All who are kind are free to sleep on my trunk. Shelford goes to sleep, and that's it. I don't know about that one. I'm on the fence about it. It was fun. What did you think? You gonna say something? Ugh. Sort of a biscuit eating bulldog. I swear to God. Checking to see something. We're having a good time. I am just. Checking something. Hold on one second. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. I don't know what she doesn't get, but she doesn't get it. That's all I know. Let's see. We're gonna work on a couple things. Whoa. Is that the person watching me? Am I actually able to go with him? Is that who's watching? If so, hey. What's up? I didn't know that was a thing I could do. I didn't know I could look and see who was in chat, even if they weren't saying anything. That's crazy. Learning new things about Twitch all the time. I might do that later. I am getting on the sleepy side. And I think it's just you and me. Go with him, maybe, if that is your name. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Cool. It's right there. It is. I go with him. So I am going to call it a night tonight. I might do this in a day in the future. I don't know, maybe another Friday or not Friday. This is technically Thursday. Thank you for sticking through this with me. I'm going to upload pretty much the whole stream in its entirety on YouTube because editing is a pain and I'm lazy. But thanks for watching, my friend, and I hope you have a good night. And anybody else who popped in and out of the stream at some point or will watch this stream on Backplay and hear how awful I am at fanfiction, be sure to like the video. Follow my Twitch channel. It is twitch.tv. Whoa. Hello, other person. I didn't realize there was going to be another person showing up randomly. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to post this entire stream on YouTube. I'm just a little tired, so I'm going to sign off of Twitch for the night. Thank you for coming. Whoever decided to come and watch at the end. I'm sorry that you didn't get to watch me do fanfic. I did about 4, 5, 6 of them, so it's going to all be up on my YouTube channel. That is, I think it's just under Andrew Boyd, but I will link it in my Twitch channel if you do decide that you want to go watch that. I don't have it linked yet, but I will. And I'll also probably post a link to it on my Twitter at Mr. Piledriver13. That's MrPiledriver 13 on Twitter. And just thanks for coming out tonight, guys. I appreciate you taking your time and watching me. Like I said, Be sure to follow my Twitch channel, AndrewBoyd13, twitch.tv, AndrewBoyd/AndrewBoyd13. Follow me on Twitter at MrPileDriver13. You know, I do talk about stuff like I do post Twitch links there, and I also talk about wrestling and other things that I enjoy there as well. You can follow me on TikTok if you want to. I haven't posted a lot of videos lately, but I'm going to try to get back on it at gorgug.thistlespring. That's Gug dot THISTLESPRING. Gorgug Thistlespring. Gorgug.thistlespring on TikTok. And what other socials can you follow me on? You can follow me on Instagram if you want. I don't really post there, but Huge Wrestling Fan 13 is my Instagram. But yeah, no. Thanks. I had a great time. I want to do this again and hopefully for longer next time. I feel really tired tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna end the stream and then I'm gonna try to upload this on YouTube as quickly as possible. You guys have a great night. I will link everything in my Twitch channel and in the description of the YouTube video that I upload. And then next time I stream, I'll know how to link out the YouTube so that I can tell you guys at the end of the stream instead of this time, which I didn't prepare. I did this really on a whim. But thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow on Twitch. All the things. Thank you, and bye-bye.